Situations bring you back to me. Oh, love is never break up. I guess you won't, that's all. Oh my head, you say that I'm dying to forget. I bit the bullet for you, for you. I wrote a song too many pennies, so I hope you hear me know that I've been thinking about you. Oh, thinking about you. When it's dark out on the wagon, yeah, listen to the beating of your heart sound, heart sound. When it's dark out on the wagon, yeah, listen to the beating of your heart sound, sound. Da-da, 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 oh. Da-da, da-da,
We haven't hooked it up. Let's see how we look. All right, here we go. Right.
Am I too bright?
I mean, shit's white.
I might need a separate light on me.
No, I mean, it says too dark in this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Do I look like a big gigantic blue whale?
First white girl on the.
Let me sit up like this, sideways.
You good?
I'm good. We recording?
Yeah, we have. Just make sure. Hey, we're here with Janice, JB. It's been some years. It's been over like a decade.
I can't believe that. It's so hard to believe it's been that long.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't. But I feel like we talk.
Yeah, we do. We kept in touch.
We just haven't been in this place together for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a different surroundings since, but yeah.
It looks great.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
awesome.
you. You're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like all of your favorite things are done.
Are you still working with the Grammy Academy? Are you still?
I'm still a part of that. Absolutely. I can't say I'm working with them, but I'm a part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Still doing music.
Okay.
Still doing music.
Okay. When was the last? What you got going on, or what?
I'm doing healing stuff now, so I've kind of changed over from the singer-songwriter aspect to more. Well, I start with rewinds. Everybody says I say rewind. That's my word.
That's cool.
Last time I talked to you, I used one of the tracks we worked on my CD Deeper. That was 2015.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, Deeper. I remember. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah.
So I had since then I've released a CD called Mantra. That was 2017, and that was taking like lyrical songs and putting like either a chant in it or like a Sanskrit chant or something like that within the music, and keeping it at like a frequency where people could listen to it and still get the benefit of the healing part of it, but it's still a song. If you just want to hear the song, you can hear the song. So that was kind of a combination of those things. And since then, I have not released, give me a line. I did release one house track since then, but I've been working more on doing guided meditations and things like that, and recording those kind of things. And the group I was a part of that I had founded, the Healing Flame Collective, we would do like live stage performances with singing bowls, chants, meditation, all of that, sound healing, everything, keyboards, drums, all that. So it would be a whole live presentation on stage, and then the audience, again, can participate however they see fit. If they want to sit and meditate, they can. If they just want to groove to it, that's fine. We were doing that for a while. I'm still doing that, just in a different group, just a different manifestation of that.
Okay, so I'm coming from a very ignorant place.
That's all right.
As a Christian, and I heard you say Sanskrit. Is this Arabic based, like we say Reiki? Am I pronouncing it right? Reiki?
Reiki is Japanese. That's a Japanese word.
Huh, I should have known that.
So if you think of, we can talk about Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese healing technique, healing to reduce stress. That's what it really does. It's a hands-on, you don't have to have hands to use it. Using like the energy that moves through your body and to alleviate stress. So if you're, like for example, if you lost your job, you probably are a little bit imbalanced. You feel a little uncertain, insecure about what's going on, that you carry that in your body. If you lose a loved one, you carry that in your body, that energy is blocked, right? So grief affects your whole body. So Reiki helps you feel more aligned. And in feeling more aligned, in being more reduced stress, your cortisol levels are reduced, your blood pressure's down, and the things, your inflammation goes down. Inflammation causes cancer, all kinds of problems that we have in our bodies. So it's really the Ray and Ki. Ray is like universal. That's what it means. And Ki is energy.
Yeah, energy power.
So like in Chinese medicine, it's Qi.
Yeah.
You know, Tai Chi and
Qi,
and acupuncturists use Qi. That's what they use. So it's very much a similar process, but it's no needles.
So what made you? Well, to me looking outside looking in, you acutely switched and went down this the whole rabbit hole.
I just jumped in.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on Facebook, I looked one day using this jump like just like, I'm like, hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
it seems that way, but I don't think it was. You know, I've always been intuitive. I've always been an intuitive person. I've always had feelings about people and their energy. I've always been in that state no matter what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I was raised in the church. I was Christian.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like
that's how I came up.
From a Christian belief to that, how do you feel like that?
It's really not a difference because Reiki's not a religion. So you can be Christian, you can be Buddhist,
See,
you
I
can
didn't
be
know
whatever
that.
you want to be.
See, I maybe some other people didn't.
No, you bring your own faith, whatever that is, to whatever practices you're doing. Same thing with being an acupuncturist.
This
Same
is
kind
like
of
kind of like a level of martial arts.
Kind of, yeah. I think people think about it because I don't know, they feel like, a lot of times I know, and speaking from a Christian basis,
yeah.
I think that a lot of Christians believe that your relationship with God is reliant on the church. Whereas God exists everywhere.
Absolutely.
So Christianity isn't even the oldest religion. I hate to tell my Christian family. Hindu is the oldest, I believe.
What is I thought?
I have no theology degree, so
yeah,
you can Google it.
Yeah, I guess I'll do my research.
I don't know either, but I know it's not the oldest. I'm not from shop. I think it's Hindu.
Yeah, I mean with Pangea and everything, we're not knowing what's going on outside of the fertile crescent kind of area. We don't, so that's something for me to research and be more educated.
And I think, from my personal view of it, I love my church people. I grew up in the church. I grew up in Methodist church. I was baptized in the Baptist church. And I absolutely believe in God. There's absolutely no change in that in any kind of way doing Reiki. I think it's actually better. I feel more aligned with the teachings that I know of. You know what I'm saying?
So Reiki doesn't go against your beliefs. It's a whole separate practice.
Right.
Like similar to martial arts and just meditation.
Now there are people who will say, because I have had people question me, I will be honest with you, the most pushback when you're doing any kind of thing called spiritual work is from Christians. The most pushback is from Christians.
Yeah, that's why I don't really go to church like that. It's like you're walking in just being judges. Like,
and what's interesting, but what's interesting to me, like I had a friend who, the more people who blocked me are either blocking me over Reiki and Christianity or white privilege. When I start talking about that, then I get blocked.
What do you mean from the white privilege? Because you grew up in the hood.
I talk about white privilege a lot.
You grew up in Forestville, right?
Forest Heights.
Forest Heights.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I tell people when they have white privilege, they don't want to hear it. They don't understand.
Well, we'll speak on it.
There's so many topics.
I mean, go for it.
No. You want me to go away from Reiki and start talking about white privilege?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey.
Yeah, well, both mix it. Yeah. Let's, you here. I think you're the first white person I ever had on this podcast.
I'm the first white person.
I think so, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times, in the world of racism, right, we have to deal with, even though I grew up in Forest Heights, even though I'm from DC, my skin color, it gives me a pass or privilege in a lot of situations where it doesn't for other people, right? Yeah. But white people don't want to hear that. They get really upset when you tell them that. They don't want to hear that. And that's what white privilege is. I think the privilege word is the problem. When they hear privilege, they think you're rich, you didn't earn something. Why? My parents were poor. My father, my dad was poor. My dad was hungry poor. My dad grew up poor. But even my dad, in his white skin, in our country, is regarded differently than someone who is brown skin or black skin.
Absolutely.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear that. They get angry when you say that. So I give you some examples. The best thing to do is give people examples. When you're trying to explain it to white people, the best thing to do is give examples. And I think Okay, for example, when I get pulled over by the police, I have never been asked to get out of the car. I have never been asked if I have drugs. I've never been asked where I'm going. Never.
That's crazy.
If I get pulled over, most of the time, even if I'm angry, in a bad mood, you won't see me dragged out of the car. That's not ever going to happen. You know, you can't say never, but in my personal experience, that has never happened. And most likely when the police are called, it will be an amicable thing. Right?
Okay.
I can pull up out here in front of your house. I can get out of my car and come in your house with a key, and no one's going to question me. No one's going to say, why is she here? Yeah. Whether I'm in the hood, in a affluent area, in houses I can't afford, you know, no matter what neighborhood I'm in, I can come up in your house, take care of your animals, take care of your house, leave, and no one's going to call the police. No one's going to question me.
Well, so I was doing the service as far as carpet cleaning, or you got the whole thing.
But my friend, who was a black man, was taking care of my house when I was in Mexico. And the first thing he asked me was, are your neighbors going to call the police on me? And I never thought about that. And the fact that I don't have to think about that is white privilege. That's white privilege, right? I don't have to think about that. It's not something that would ever cross my mind. Even sitting in your car somewhere, that's something else I was thinking of. I had learned from conversations with friends of mine. You know, just say you're out driving somewhere and you just want to pull over for a minute and check your emails or whatever. Maybe you go and eat your lunch on lunch break. You don't want to be at work. So you go to a parking lot somewhere and park. People have called the police on black men sitting somewhere they don't belong. They don't do that to me. And if they do, the police are going to come and be like, hey, I'm checking my emails.
Ham and cheese sandwich.
And that, we're joking, but that's a fact. That's a fact. And people are like, oh, well, it's isolated. No, it's not isolated. It's not isolated. It's something, I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything to earn this pass, but it's just because I'm white. That's the way it is. People don't follow me around the store. People don't assume I'm guilty. People think I'm smart, right? They assume I'm well-spoken and smart. Those things are white privilege. Those are things you didn't earn. You know, you don't know me. I could be crazy. I could be. I could have bad intentions. I could be going to somebody's house to break in there and steal. You don't know. But because I don't get the police call on me, it's white privilege. That's what it is. But people don't want to hear that. They get really angry when you tell them that. They block me.
Well,
they block me when I say that.
Kudos for you for, like, you know what I'm saying? That's, That's,
try to have the conversations. You know, we learn. I probably, you know.
It's a hard conversation.
20 years ago, I may not have understood it the way I understand it now. Hopefully, you're evolving and learning about things as we go.
How was it 20 years ago?
Well, 20 years is a long time ago.
How was it?
Let's go back farther. 20, I knew. Let's go back to like early 20s.
Keep it about.
I mean, I don't
was
think
it your parents? Was it
no, actually, it's funny because I grew up in Forsyth Heights, right? My parents lived there forever. We didn't move anywhere else. My dad was a cop. Okay. All the things on paper that would be conservative white people, military cop, you know what I'm saying? Write it down, right? Small town background, whatever. But my dad was very, I don't know that he would understand me talking about white privilege because, like I said, he had nothing growing up, so he'd be like, I definitely wasn't privileged. But I don't know if he would understand that concept. But my dad instilled in me to treat everyone like their family, basically. So when he passed and we had his celebration of life service at the Methodist Church, neighbors, I was sitting there, I was standing up when I actually spoke. I guess the eulogy I spoke, I did a reading and talked about my dad. And just looking at this church filled with people that were all backgrounds.
All kinds of,
military. People came from other states just to get on the microphone for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Police officers that worked with him one time, black, white, Asian, you know, all, Hispanic. All of these people, I even said, I said my dad would be totally blown away to know that all of you guys came out here, but like neighbors' kids, and all of their neighbors were black, right? Neighbors' kids were on the microphone crying about how my dad, you know, took the time to show them something.
Beacon to the community and didn't judge.
He would do anything, and his neighbors would do anything for him, and that's what used to really piss me off about people that would. Can we cuss? That's not really a cuss word. when people would say, you know, oh, I can't believe your parents haven't moved out of Forest Heights, why didn't you know? I'm like, my parents, any day of the week, my parents have the best neighbors you will ever have in your whole life.
That's what's up.
Like my one neighbor, the one neighbor across the street, I could call him, like when my dad was sick and I couldn't get a hold of my mom, I'd be like, they're not answering the phone. Can you see if they're over there? Because I'm like 45 minutes away, you know? And he would wait. And he would call me. And then one time he had gone over there at 11 o'clock at night because my dad fell and my mom couldn't get him up. So, you know, how many people have neighbors that you can, call on the phone?
Yeah.
That you even know?
No, last night.
That will come over and pick your dad up off the ground.
That's
you
love.
know?
Yeah,
so that's how I was raised. Black, white, green, purple, that's how I was raised. And that's, you know, I think that's the basis of everything for me.
That's what's up. I mean, you seem like you got a good solid center raised with the,
I think so.
So.
And I think that's probably why we're
cool. Absolutely.
Because I met you for the first time in a Grammy event.
Yeah.
I think it was the one in DC.
Yeah, it was
like a one-on-one thing.
Jermaine Dupri was
Yes.
That was back when Wendy was the president.
Yes, that was amazing.
And Kay was the vice president. Yeah. So that's crazy.
And that's one of the things that I think I kind of understood about you was that you had that kind of upbringing, so that kind of.
Yeah. I grew up in private school, but I grew up in the hood at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the hood, but then I had to, I get dropped off on B Street, like with my parents in the military doing their thing, and I would stay at my folks, and I'd be out there for like the summer.
Where did your parents live?
They live in Capitol Heights as well.
Oh, okay.
Both military. Both pastor's kids, both from the South.
Yeah.
So, they're kind of old school, but.
Yeah.
Just growing up in this area and just seeing the things I've seen, but luckily going to like a private school, Christian school, I can know how to navigate those different balances, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah.
So. Yeah,
I was public school, Fiji County, all the way through. Yeah. I took my son back to my elementary school, which was Forest Heights, and it looks exactly the same as it did. Good. I said, shame on y'all.
That's not good.
That's fucked up. Yeah. That's fucked up. That's the economics.
Schools should evolve.
That's the economics of the area, right?
Yeah.
So, and I also found out now, the people that are in that neighborhood are no longer District 2 Oxon Hill High School, which is where I went. Now they're going to Potomac. So they built Oxon Hill up, and now y'all can't come here. That's the way I see it.
Posh.
Right? Like, really? For real? It's Oxon Hill. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yeah. So, quick question.
Yes.
What services do you offer, and where can people find you?
Hi. Well, my website is janicebreiki.com. It's also janicebmusic.com. So either way, it will take you to the same place. I do the same things. As far as healing stuff, I facilitate meditations with groups. We do group workshops where we do like healing circles where you just come in and sit and we guide you through a meditation with sound healing, the sound bowls. Might throw some vocalizing in there, and usually a seated Reiki session, so it's not as serious as being on the table, but just for alignment, everybody leaves kind of feeling aligned, and we've done all kinds of healing stuff. Yes.
What's a sound bowl?
Oh my gosh, are you serious? I should have brought one.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So there's different frequencies of sound, and are you familiar with chakras at all?
Yeah, like the
Yeah, okay. So there's a whole lot of chakras. Most people recognize the 7. So a lot of the singing bowls that you buy are in the chakras. Like root chakra is the lowest. It goes up higher, up to the crown. Normally the sets you buy are like 7, and they can be metal, they can be glass. The ones that have like a frosted glass. And they make a vibration in that note for that chakra. So like the root chakra is C, and it keeps going up.
Did grief cause you to get into this?
I don't think grief caused me to get in it, but I will say that after my dad passed first. After my dad passed, I really thought I was going to be more, I don't want to say devastated when my dad passed, because we were really close and very much alike. He was very intuitive. But I feel like he was preparing me for years. Yeah. Like it was like,
my parents are doing that now.
When I die. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is listen to them. Whatever they're telling you, listen. My dad prepared us. He knew when he was kind of winding down, I think, And I felt when he passed, I knew he wanted to go. I knew we didn't have anything that was left unspoken. We both had immense love for each other. I knew what he expected me to do. And I felt like it was kind of like somebody passing the baton to you. Okay, I'm done here.
This is,
You
it's
know, my journey's going. My journey's over for this part of the world, for the physical plane. And here I'm passing this on. Take care of your mom. That kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the grief was different with him.
Still, it's like you miss him and it's all there.
Absolutely.
But it's not like a blind
I
side.
feel like he's with me all the time. Like, I really just feel like he's always with me, you know? My mom was different. And my mom, it's funny because I'm both of my parents. I don't know if you feel that way about your parents. Like, you have a little bit of both of them, right? My dad was the kind of quiet, badass. Like, everybody respected him. He didn't ask for respect. He just had
to yell.
Right. Nope. Never beat me. Nothing. I knew what was up. Day one. And my mom was the organizer. My mom was the one that did all the accounting stuff. My mom, you know, that. And my dad was the more, he worked. My mom stopped working when I was born. So they had their little thing that worked for them. But my mom was winding down. So they had been together since middle school. And they were in their 80s when they died.
That's a blessing.
It's a blessing, but what happens is the surviving partner has lost the whole entire part of their body. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't understand when people have lost somebody, what grief feels like, it is like a whole system in your body is gone.
It shakes up your whole network.
And people die. People die from that heartache because it does affect your heart. It
yeah,
really
no,
does.
like
your cardiovascular
scientifically.
system.
Yes,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like for real.
Everything. So she did okay for a while. I mean, she was certainly devastated. And she did okay for a while. She was driving from Oxon Hill to Columbia to see us, you know, because they got a grandson. My son's there. And she was doing okay until she has a heart issue. She had one she was kind of monitoring. And then she started getting short of breath. And then it was like she had to go on oxygen. And, you know, that generation of people they're very proud. They don't want to look weak. They don't want to look less than. They don't want you to see them. You know, it's a big front all the time about everything. You know, hiding your feelings. So it's not good. But she didn't want to go anywhere then when she had the oxygen tank, and she was slipping. You know, when you lose your oxygen, even if you're on an oxygen tank, you're not as sharp. And she was always somebody who was really sharp. So kind of watching her deteriorate was hard. And she went into hospice in our house because I didn't want her to be in a home or anything like that. You know. So she came to live with us for a while, and she was good for a while, but then it was like once she went into hospice, and you can be in hospice forever. I don't know if people know that or not. Hospice is not like, oh, it's done. Hospice just means you're not going to take any medical care that will keep you alive. So as long as you're cool, you know you have something that you could pass away from, you're not taking any medicine to prevent that from happening. Does that make sense? So they were like, she could be, you know, it could be years that she could be officially in hospice. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen because I could tell she was kind of deteriorating. But what happens is they get to the point where they consider them actively dying. So their body's slowing down. They're probably not completely conscious. You know, my mom and dad were both very active in the church. So the church really helped me immensely. And they told me this, so she woke up, overnight, this one night, I was like folding laundry in her room, we were talking, and she told me she loved me, and she was gonna go to sleep, and then she did not sleep through the night. So it was like we had like a baby monitor so we could hear her, and she would just be talking. So my husband and I would just take turns going in and seeing what was going on with her, right? And it went from coherent conversations to just jibber jabber conversations. And that's what they do. They kind of winding down. She wasn't in any pain or anything. She was just winding down. Yeah. And they're seeing things. And it really is a thing to see your loved ones that have passed on, to see the connection to God and that opening of, you know, someone's coming to receive me, right? And she was talking about stuff like that, somebody in the doorway and stuff. So they came to check her out in the morning. I told them, I think, you know, what's happening. And they came out and said she was actively dying. And that's the term they use. So it could be, they said, it could be today or it could be weeks from now. And in my head, I was like, it's not going to be weeks from now because I'm going to call my dad. I was like, Dad. Yeah. I literally did. And I had been doing meditative work and stuff. And I definitely believe in spirit realm and those energies around you. And I was like, I told my dad, I said, come get her. I said, come get your girl, don't let her lay here. And she died that evening. And she died with all of our friends there. So it was like, the church people were there with us. They helped me get everything
It couldn't be
ready.
no better way.
Right. And that's how my dad was too. My dad passed that way as well. He waited for me to get there. I know he did. He wasn't even talking. I know he waited. So I feel like there is a divine timing for everything that we have no control over. But at the same point, we are aware of that. Like, I know he heard me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I know he came and got her. And it was really crazy because she sang in the choir. And if you want to ever think about the power of music, this is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
So she was laying there. This is when she was actively dying. And they told me this in the morning. So she probably died like at 7 o'clock that night. Okay, so we had all day. Everything fell into place divinely. The nurse that was supposed to be there, somebody else came, and then the nurse that was supposed to be that she liked, her favorite nurse came, and the other one left. And I was like, oh no, she definitely wants this person here, and she was playing, somebody played some music for her. Like, she was just, everybody was in tune to what needed to be happening.
Because the last thing to go.
Yeah. And the hospice, they had a pastor that comes around and, prays with you if you want that. So he was there the first day we put her into hospice, and we never told her she was in hospice. I knew she'd have a problem with that. So I just told her we weren't going to be going to the hospital anymore, but we were going to have people come in, right? So he came in one day, she was eating breakfast, and he sang Amazing Grace for her because he could sing really well. And she was like, oh, he has a lovely voice. Like, she was like really impressed. So this guy wasn't even on duty, and I called, and he came out. So he came out and he sang In the Garden, which is the song they usually sing at funerals, and that was her song of singing that. And when he started singing it, her eyes opened. Like, she wasn't conscious, but you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Music transcends all of that. Music, vibrations, all that stuff transcends the physical, for sure. We know that.
Yeah, for sure.
People who have dementia, they put headphones on them and
they remember the old songs
yes,
they did, and they
wild.
know what they heard, and
so I think it was really amazing that he was able to come out, that he was able to help in that transition process, that she knew that was happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I don't know how we started talking about that, but here we are.
No, I mean, no, it's Road Chronicles.
Everything kind of comes back around.
Yeah, it's all
I think talking about grief, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I had more grief with her because it was watching her wind down, But even so, like you said, everything was lined up the way it should have been lined up. There's things in hindsight I would have done differently, but you go on autopilot when you're taking care of somebody. I had an 85-year-old and a 5-year-old. So I have my son. I'm thinking about everybody. I'm, doing the best you can.
Now I think about it, I haven't seen you since that era.
I know. I think it was right after my dad died, maybe. That was 2014, I think.
Yeah. And your energy is amazing. Like, you seem like
Thank
your healing is very
I work
inspiring.
on it all the time. Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
I do. Thank you. I'm proud of you.
It's a hard world. Like.
It is a hard world. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do wellness stuff and why I started to get into more wellness things. And the music industry is wild. The music industry is wild. I love it. I love it, but it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah,
It's wild.
It is.
I don't think I'll ever not do music. I just wanted to shift my focus from it. And I do have some projects in the works I'm not talking about yet, but definitely moving in that direction. I definitely feel like the music element helps people because the music, everybody connects to music.
Yeah, all languages, all backgrounds. Yeah.
If you don't understand Reiki, that's fine. You understand this music right here, And everybody I work with is in that kind of thing. They're either already still musicians or they do percussion and work with kids and do things like that. So we all kind of come together with what we have and do these healing circles, which have been awesome. I think a lot of people are, especially after the pandemic, are in need of alignment and stress reduction. I feel like a lot of people are operating up here and don't even realize it. I feel like a lot of our physical problems are from being up here all the time.
Absolutely. That's why I take off. I take my breaks.
Yes, take your time. And get help. If you need help, get help. I grew up, I always tell people, I honestly believe that I may have been ADHD growing up, and it wasn't diagnosed back then. It wasn't diagnosed in women for sure. They didn't take that stuff seriously. If you were hyperactive,
Pass y'all some
That's
Ritalin.
all it, right.
Ritalin,
She'll be okay. Yeah, some
You'll be
Ritalin.
alright.
Even Ritalin, that was like, if somebody had ADHD in your class, they were like really hyper, or they didn't behave well. It wasn't a focus thing or an attention thing. And those of us that are creative, I don't know about you, but I got 20 million things going on at one time. So my brain is like,
I don't like
always.
Yeah, I don't like thinking.
But honestly, a lot of people need therapy. A lot of people need professional help. And I never ever try to tell people to pray stuff away, to Reiki stuff away. Whatever it is you're doing, all those things are great tools for your mental health. But if you need help, get it. If you're not coping, and people don't even really know when they need help. I'm like, if you're not able to get through the day, if you're edgy, if you're not able to move past this point, especially from grief, if you're still holding on to something that's like 30 years old, it's time to get someone professional. You know, if your arm was hurting you, well, hopefully you would go to the doctor at some point after 30 years of not being able to move your arm.
Just live like this is just my life now. It's like, no, you
it's
do something.
really sad. I've had clients that, you know, have gone through like divorces, and it's been decades, and they talk about it like it's brand new, like it's their narrative. This happened to me, this person left me, this person cheated on me. I'm like, that was like 30 years ago. That's like a whole person's life.
It ain't been a year for me, and I've already moved on. Have fun. God bless.
It's so wild to me to think that I was here when you were single.
And I am back, and I'm
back
single.
when you're single, right? That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy.
But nah, man, it's like that took some healing, but I'm not a victim. I'm not.
No.
It's just a circumstance of life.
It's also not linear. It's not like, it's not black and white.
No, it's not. No.
It will change. And grief is the same way.
Yeah.
So grief is like a part of you. That loss is a part of who you are going forward. You're not the same person you were before. You're not going back to that ever again. No. But hopefully you learn and move and carry that with you. And now you know how to roll differently. It's just, some days you got good days, some days it's not good days, it's okay.
And there's been a lot more good days than bad days. You know, when it first happened, I had a whole crash out there, and
well, that's
it's part of it.
That's what you do.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Some people never crash out; they just stay in the middle, pretend like everything's okay.
No, I crashed.
Crashing out's a big deal.
Yeah, so I got that out of my system. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm good. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want none of that. Because if I hear, what are we? I'm not ready. I told you what this was.
It's good to know you're not ready. That's a blessing for everyone.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah, I'm not trying. I respect you too much to even be doing all that. So it's like, let's not. You know.
Yeah, definitely. So. Definitely. Well, this year, believe it or not, I will have been married 30 years.
Nice.
That's so wild to me. Like 30 years for real? This October, isn't that crazy?
You got married young, man.
Yeah, I got married when I was 10. I'm the whitest person that's been here and the oldest person that's been here.
Maryland State Police has just entered the chat.
Right, exactly.
What's going on here? How old are you?
Right, hold on.
Carry the one.
Well, you know, our phones are listening to us. They were like, wait.
Watch you on the ad, like.
Do you feel safe where you are?
But yeah, but I want to just say I appreciate you and your time coming through and being transparent with me and
always
with the audience.
Always.
Definitely. And I love your road, by the way.
I love you too. My hands are cold. We go way back.
Yes.
We've been. This is one of the only people that can call me on the phone and I'll pick it up.
Same. The phone thing is like, so invasive. Why are you calling? What
do they want?
It's vibrating in my pocket.
I'll be texting. Y'all know I'll be texting. What do you need? If Elijah calls me, it's time to talk.
Yes.
We've had some great conversations.
And I appreciate you being here with me through everything.
Appreciate you.
So yeah. I'm gonna put her information down at the bottom. Follow her, show her some love, tag her and stuff. So we out here, Reiki, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get her to play some drums before she skates back. You can see footage on that.
Escapes. I'm getting out of here. We're playing Help Me.
Love y'all. Peace.